Alright, we're on a little bit of a side quest today. What's up, everybody? My name is Sen. Welcome back to the channel. For today's video, we're actually going to be watching some replays from a friend of mine that's recently getting back into Street Fighter 6. They initially played some time ago, and I asked them about watching the replays. Initially, there was a bit of apprehension there. I assume partially because of, like, I don't want you to watch my replays on recording, and also they were just telling me that they were trolling as well while they were playing. But they told me to check out a couple of matches, specifically these matches right here with a Ken player. Now, I'm pretty familiar with this matchup against Alex being the Ken player itself, so I'm kind of flipping perspectives here. I don't know if they actually wanted me to review these on recording or not, but I figure if there's anything to take away from this, and if you guys have any advice, it's better in a video format that we can point out specific things. So let's dig into it. First game, apparently this starts out as a Ken win, but I'm interested to see the specifics of all this. Now I'm kind of doing this quick and dirty because I literally just got off work, and it's been a day, man. So I'm curious to get into this and see what's kind of on the table here. Gold matches. Immediately... how do I fucking pause this shit? Immediately, the Ken starts off really, like, aggro with the drive rush in. Good spacing there. Okay, heavy commitment with the sweep. That's, like, immediately one thing I kind of want to stray away from. It works out for you, but obviously the sweep is very punishable. And, you know, you can get blown up for kind of YOLOing the sweep. But it works out for you. You get counter hit, kind of backing away. And then just YOLO, I think this is punishable too. You're doing a lot of punishable things. It's working out for you, but I might recommend a bit of safer play. Nice, I like the meaty grab though. That was good. Okay, you kind of get YOLO'd out a little bit, unfortunately there. Drive rush throw. The wake up DI, one of the things I want to mention is like there's like skill checks to certain ranks where it's like, okay, can you run stable offense? Can you, you know, do a safe jump? Can you perform the basic things that your character requires? Or, like, are you starting to learn matchups? And it kind of strings along all of these ranks. One of the biggest baits of Street Fighter 6 is using DI. DI is so good when it works out, and it's so bad when it doesn't work out. It works out for you in this situation. But as I've progressed and gotten better, and as I like am still warm to Street Fighter, I'm using DI less and less because it's like it's a trap for yourself. But works out for you. EX command grab. Personally, I wouldn't have spent the bar there. You have such a health lead, and it feels good to get that extra bit of damage. But at lower levels, leveraging your drive gauge as much as possible is going to be really important as well. But you're still in the drive lead. You guys are about even. Nice. I like that a lot, though. You make them whiff with the I forget what it's called. The crawl into backsway. That was good. That was actually just good stuff. I'm sensing some YOLO things are gonna happen that, like, you're just not gonna know what to do. And the thing I want to think about too is like where your threats are on screen at any given time. When you're full screen, we kind of had this problem when we were playing, when I was playing Akuma. You kind of didn't know what to do when I was just throwing a lot of fireballs at you. Honestly, that's the only way I can really interact with you at a full screen like distance. But it's not like I get a ton off that unless I commit to a drive rush after. So you're pretty safe to like neutral jump those fireballs or forward jump at full screen. Or even, you know, back jump, but back jumping is kind of weird. But you also have some options at a stance as well. No conversion from the Ken. Decent little whiff punish. I think it's okay to play a little bit more slow. You have, like, really good footsies tools with Alex. Nice. Stomp is plus. Yeah, absolutely. One of the things I'd recommend at low level is just always take your plus frames until your opponent shows that they will challenge with something like an EX reversal. Or if they're showing that they're going to block or something like that, that they know that you're plus, then you can start mixing in throws, but definitely establish those plus frames off rip. We're not going to talk about like optimization or lack of optimization. That's like, you know, I'm not optimal or anything like that. Okay, YOLO DI for not really too much reason. Maybe thought of YOLO. Some nice air to air though. Stands. Your plus, you actually get a knockdown there. Okay, YOLO sweep. No block on the cross up, unfortunate. Feels like you might just get YOLO'd out here. Drive rush throw. Jinrai. Actually, nice DI though. That was extremely. Oh no! You just didn't confirm it, bruv. You just didn't quite get the confirm. That's super unfortunate. It happens. It really does happen. That was just an unfortunate set of circumstances. I don't think you did too many like bad things or anything like standout-ish. Let's see how this third round starts. Immediate jump. Air there. Alright, fair enough. Okay, gets caught on the way down. Yeah, just commit to like playing defensive. Drive rush throw. Nice parry. Yeah, parry's really good if your opponent's strike happy. It seems like you're just getting like YOLO'd out and kind of rushed down here. Maybe not super familiar with Ken's options. But parry is like the best blocking you can do, right? It sucks when you get like punish counter thrown and it's a lot of damage to eat. But if you don't know if it's going to be a high or low, was that a medium or something? If it was a heavy, he was actually plus there. So, but you get a fortunate back throw. Nice neutral jump on the DI, punish counter throw. He's almost burnt out. This is where you start pressing your advantage. It's great to be in stance or anything like that, but with such little drive gauge, that's something you want to consider. Honestly, him just blocking anything or getting counter hit will burn him out, putting him in a really scary situation. It'll get him desperate. In fairness, he has 3 meters, so I can understand wanting to play conservative here. But it seems like being in stance is getting you kind of killed a lot. So don't be afraid to like ease up on stance a little bit. I get it's something that you're getting used to. And you're just trying to like, maybe you're trying to use it as much as possible so you can get a feel for it as much as possible. That could be what's going on here. But honestly, I would say less stance. Because you can't block in stance. You need to play a little defensive against these YOLO ass players. Is what... Oh... You were the YOLO player. I respect it, though. Okay, I want to see an anti-air. Okay, backing away is fine, too. YOLO super. Please tell me punish. No punish. Unfortunate. He should be able to punish here. Yeah, sweep. You're just committing to, like... You're overly committing to certain options here. That's the thing. And part of it's unfamiliarity with the character. You're new to this character. He's new in general. Previously, when this guy played the game, he was on DJ. And he didn't get super optimal with DJ. Like, he didn't, like, optimize. Like, he was just kind of going off of, like, fundamentals and just playing the game, running matches, just having a good time. Playing him more safe is going to help you a lot. But you kind of just get YOLO'd out. There wasn't anything standout-ish in neutral, exactly. So Ken wins that game. You go on to win the next 2. I'm curious to see, like, if there's any kind of adjustment going on here. Maybe you figured something out. Maybe you are just playing a little bit more defensive. I'm curious. All right, let's get into game 2. Yeah, you see, immediately, my first thought was you've seen Ken commit to some kind of option at round start every time, and it's always aggressive. He's going for forward jump right now. I think he went for forward jump previously, but before that, he went for drop rush, so he's always on the attack. Now... that kind of puts a lot on the mental stack. I have been getting better myself at checking drive rushes, but it's so much easier to check a drive rush at a distance. Just be ready for the anti-air. I forget what your anti-air option is. It might be crouch fierce or something like that. But unfortunate, just gets the jump in on you. Kind of YOLOs out on the DP. It works out for you. I wouldn't be quick to use that as your like reversal mash option. It's okay to just play a little patient. Stance backs away. Okay, yep, nice enforce the plus frames. A little bit of a YOLO DI, but doesn't spend the meter on the command grab. I actually like that though. At low levels, it's all about preserving your health gauge or your drive gauge. You don't enforce your plus frames on the jump in though. Maybe fearing an EXDP, but even that jump back would have gotten caught by the EXDP, I think. Okay, gets anti-air by stand fears. Okay, we're kind of just playing a little bit of footsies. You have great footsies tools with Alex. Like, that's one of the things I can't stress enough. They're very, like, active, so they're out there, so they can leave you getting prone to getting whiff punished. But if you get the spacing on them, he has incredible tools, man. Don't neglect to use them. He's kind of catching on to that you're just jumping in. Nice. I like that poke. I don't know what that is. That might be crouching medium punch or something like that. That is a fantastic poke to confirm into. Honestly, drive rushing off of that and starting your pressure is huge. I want to see more use of your drive gauge other than DI. And then, like, when you, like, are feeling antsy, you'll, like, parry. That didn't look like heavy. Can I see, like, the inputs? Yeah, he actually does light Dragon Lash here, which is actually minus. Light and medium Dragon Lash are minus. The only one that's actually plus is Heavy Kick. I only ever really use Heavy Kick. So this is fake, actually. Reversal level 1, just don't want to take that. Understandable. Kind of gets a little bit of a lucky grab on the cross up there. Okay. I want to see a little bit more rotation on your drive gauge usage. Okay, nice, gets grab. And like I said earlier, this could just be you wanting to use your stance like as much as possible just to get comfortable with it. But Alex has such good footsies tools, man. He has armor to make use of it. Yeah, and then just committing to drive rush on hit or on block is totally fine as well. Okay, you jump over. He actually commits to the drive rush heavy punch there. Okay, just throws out a crouch medium. Nice, good air there. I like that. Use those normals, man. Use them. Okay, gets antsy with the YOLO DI. The thing is like people will catch on to that in neutral, and like, you know, DI is like the biggest risk reward. When it works, it pays out really well. But you capitalize, get a command throw. See, this is a perfect opportunity for after that command throw knockdown, just drive rush up, put in a normal. If he EXDPs at you, he doesn't really get much off of it. He's not making use of Fireball at all. So honestly, that incentivizes you to play more grounded and just kind of walk him down and play at your range. Not that flash chop worked out for you. This was counter hit. This is a chance to get a little combo. You take plus frames, take the throw. That's totally fine. You know, obviously you get a combo off that, but we're not here to talk about optimizations. You can work on optimizations at any time. You're kind of YOLOing out with DI a lot. That's understandable. It's been working for you. The thing is positive reinforcement. If it works and keeps working, there's no reason not to use it. And one of the strengths of this player I've always found historically when we've played games together was that they're good at finding cheap things fast. But right now they're kind of in a character crisis. They're bouncing around with multiple different characters. Okay, gets across upon you. EX Dragon Lash, I disagree with that. You should just, honestly, just run dash DP. That way you can keep Alex in the corner. YOLO's out with the what? It worked, but that was dumb as shit. It works, but it's okay to block, my friend. It's okay to play a little defense. You know, the saying of very much still stands true for Street Fighter V with just taking the throw. Taking the throw is not that bad. You don't have to always do an option on defense. Just let your opponent hang themselves. It works out for you. You go into stance. Honestly, the best thing for Ken to do right here is just to throw Fireball. But he YOLOs out with a DP, just something so risky. Maybe even consider if going into stance, like if you feel like this player is very YOLO, maybe like take a dash forward, take a dash back, try to bait something out, you know, just basic footsie stuff. Kind of YOLOs out with you. And reversal. He tries to enforce his pressure. It doesn't work out for him. If I was your opponent, I would be trying to bait these things out, because when you're doing a wake-up game, you're always waking up with something. So it's okay to just block. It's okay to just like take something on defense. The risk versus reward of getting thrown is very much weighted for you, because if you get shimmied or something like that, that's when it actually pays out. But taking a throw or two, not so bad. But after that third throw territory is when it's like, all right, this motherfucker's gonna wake up with something, right? But it works out for you. You take game 2. Let's move on to game 3. Okay. So he's... Yeah, I was going to say, your opponent is either going to drive rush at you or jump at you. Honestly, playing reactive on round start is going to be great for you. It's going to put you in a good situation. Checking the drive rush with a fast button like a medium or a jab, and then also getting ready to anti-air these things. Gets a big payout. No confirm. Huge chance to punish. What do you got? Alright, you know, it's something. We absolutely take that. But then the overcommitment to the sweep option, these are the things that get you hung up. Is just like overly committing to something that's not guaranteed. And then like the gameplay is kind of rampant with these overcommitment things. You're still figuring that out. It's totally normal. Figuring out what your safer options are going to be super important for you. And then, yeah, you're waking up with something on... Pretty much something. Yep, that was 100% your turn. That was a perfectly fine throw. One thing, being in stance is great too because you have like flexible options, but using your drive rush pressure, because you're kind of neglecting your drive rush drive meter if it's not DI or like an EX move or something like that. But just drive rushing at your opponent for their wake up is a little bit better because you'll be able to get an action faster out in a meaty sense than you will in like stance dash up, because there's like a slight delay before you can get anything to happen, right? It keeps things a little bit more real. Decent whiff punish by Ken though. Okay. Okay, I like this back and forth game. Are you trying to go for your plus frames? Okay, you know, you get the DI. We already talked about DI. We don't have to harp too much more on it. Okay, EX Dragon Lash. Spend some meter. What do you do in this situation? Are you going to super or DI? No, wakes up with a button. Different rotation, obviously, like we talked about just playing defense, but you rotated something, so that's kind of important too. Even if you get hit, you're cycling your options. Okay, so what's he? Oh, dude, I thought he was gonna be the one to drive rush. I was like, okay, like let's fucking go. But no, you get a counter hit chop. How plus does this fucking leave you? Can I? Yeah. Okay, so you're +7. Yeah, you get like a medium button there or something. Okay, checking with another medium button, not bad to fish for a counter hit, but yeah, just being ready to confirm those combos. It's tough, but and then you just kind of YOLO on a DI while your opponent's like kind of playing passively. I mean, I get that you're fishing for something here, but okay, a little bit of jump back neutral. Forward throw. EX Dragon Lash. You kind of just get domed, Ipadu. It just seems like you weren't blocking. Yeah, it looks like you were going into stance on wake up. So you have meter. I assume you're gonna spend a level 1 here. No, alright, DP's out of the corner. It's not an invincible reversal. It catches anti-airs for sure, but it's not a good wake up option to do. Like sometimes it may work out for you, but it's not one of the things you want to cycle exactly. Okay, you whiff a special move into DI. The neutral's just feeling a little too DI dependent. You are in the lead drive gauge wise. Okay, yeah, and then just something like, obviously this is super trivial, just making sure you have good solid anti-airs, because at low level neutral is going to look like your opponent's going to be jumping a lot, and knowing how to stop that is so good, because it's really great to be the person that's jumping and nobody doing anything about it, because it's like, oh, I'm plus forever, my opponent's not answering this. So just making sure you check that. Oh, nice block on the overhead. Okay, yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with the level 3 exactly, because you're behind a round and you guys are close to, like, close in percentage health, so any way you can leverage that gap to be more in favor of you, it's like, I understand that. Okay, he's starting to YOLO back on the DI, so this is something you should be concerned about, getting your DI just caught. Okay. Takes around there. The thing to note here is your opponent has 3 bars, so just be careful in any of their wake-up situations. They might YOLO into super. Okay. Worked out for you last time, not so much this time. You're reading the drive rush potentially. Yeah, just doing, being a little bit more passive on the round starts, not too bad. That is your turn. You recognize the situation. Punish, counter, throw. Beautiful. Okay, like that stance, dash up, throw. Nice air to air. Check him in the corner. And this right here, this position is so important because managing your opponent while in the corner, honestly, you're pretty much at the perfect space where like you can just kind of keep them there. If they jump forward, you can anti-air them. If they neutral jump, it does nothing. And you can move back. You have the freedom to navigate their footsies because the only way they can move is forward. So this is a great position to be in. Not a traditional anti-air, but you get the air to air. You land first. It's your turn to act. Stance. Gets a throw. Okay, they back jump. Like I said, that does absolutely nothing. Were they... Yeah, it looks like they're pressing something. It looks like they're fishing for a medium punch. You get the counter hit here. Big damage on board. Alright, so what's the option here? I'm assuming at low level, they would YOLO level 3 because they're in a desperate situation. YOLO DIs, it's a YOLO option nonetheless. Playing defensive here is great. If you have the reactions for a DI back, you just win the game. But no worries at all. They're fighting their way out of the corner, drive rushing out to cover that space. You can just be so passive. Like, this is a free anti-air. YOLO's out with the DI. EX, command grab. Gets the game. We take that. So yeah, overall, it's not really about optimizations. You'll figure that in due time. Right now, just manage your wake-up options. Don't be afraid to be a little bit more defensive, especially when you're holding a lead. Leveraging your drive gauge as much as possible so you have some to spare while your opponent's like hemorrhaging some. And this Ken was pretty ready to spend EX gauge or whatever. Figuring out what your anti-airs are. And then, yeah, just don't be afraid to use your buttons. Alex has some really incredible buttons. They're really, really good. Just really solid buttons to stick out there. Like that crouch medium punch, we saw that connect a couple times. Just drive rushing off of that. Don't be afraid to throw out a little bit of drive rush. And then, yeah, just not as much DI, not as much stance because you can't defend yourself. But I'm happy that you're back into the fray of things and kind of just trying to figure it out. So I hope you guys found this insightful. If you guys have any advice for my friend here, please drop it in the comments below. I'm happy to see him back on the game. And if you guys want to see more of this style of content, let me know. If you guys want me to watch your replays, we didn't really get into general neutral things because it kind of just didn't come up. Honestly, the range that you were at was pretty advantageous for you a lot of times. And Ken honestly should have been the one to play more defensive to not allow you to get it. He should have been trying to play around his tools and like his ranges and keeping you out as much as possible. But he was just kind of slamming his face on the controller a bit too. Yeah, that's gonna do it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.